I want to go ahead and go to our next piece of news that hits a little bit closer to home. There was once a time in our republic that it was taken for granted that the press was free and sacrosanct. No one dared lay a hand upon a reporter. Well, not now. I've been arrested covering events. Many of my crew have been arrested. I've had to shell a lot of money out defending my reporters. But in the case of Rob Dew, who actually heads up behind the scenes the Infowars Nightly News, he got arrested, and the footage is evidence of it, for peacefully covering the police attacking men and women, college students, cracking girls' heads open who were riding on bicycles, police releasing police dogs on old women coming out of grocery stores with bags. They just would randomly say, no one allowed out in the city of Pittsburgh. Well, now Stewart Rhodes, the head of Oath Keepers, has filed suit with Rob Dew against the city of Pittsburgh to defend the First Amendment. And Rob is not litigious, but he does understand that if you don't fight for a right, you lose it. And Rob, it's already been a long show tonight. We've got to get home and at least tuck our kids into bed tonight. But in the next few minutes, break down exactly why you're doing this. It's gotten a lot of attention. UPI, yep. Dozens of newspapers, Pittsburgh Gazette, journalists sue city over arrested G-20 summit. A journalist who covered G-20 summit for the website Infowars.com, the Alex Jones Show, has sued the city of Pittsburgh over the treatment he received at the hands of police 2 years ago.
Yeah, and in fact, it was 2 years on Sunday when it happened, and it was the end of covering the G20. It was basically over. In fact, the G20 had ended, and we had another night before we left, and we heard of there was a police brutality protest going on at the Pitt campus. So, all right, we're going to go up and cover it. We get up there, it was like pandemonium had broken out. There was at least 500 cops by the time we got there. By the time the night was over, there was close to 1,500, fully armed in their battle gear with the LRADs, with the batons, with pepper spray, with shotgun canisters. I mean, it was incredible.
Well, people were daring to go protest the World Bankers meeting.
Right.
But you were even more evil. You tried to videotape this in America.
Exactly. And I've got all the footage. I'm not protesting. I'm covering the protest. I'm covering people getting hit. And then I go up and interview them. And they're like, I was just trying to walk. Ask the cops which way to go. I get busted. And so
you also have their police scanner recordings, right, where they were admitting they were blocking folks from getting away, right, and then saying leave and then attacking you.
Exactly. They did a massive kettling procedure in this park right next to the Cathedral of Learning and Heinz Chapel, right there on the Pitt campus. Miles away, at least 4 to 5 miles away from any type of G20 action that was going on over the
In fact, it was over.
Yeah, it was done. So it started off, and we're at the, and you guys can run the footage in there. It starts off, we're at the road. The cops start lining up. They had just gotten rid of the protesters. If you look at it here, they got rid of the protesters in the park. They dispersed, and then they decided they were going to start lining up and corralling people into the park, and then they blocked off the park from the top. It's a big hill, and so I'm covering it from the road.
There they just knocked some guy in the head.
Yeah, and I actually interviewed that guy later.
Oh, he can kill somebody like that.
Yeah, and they knocked him over a chain, and it was pretty dangerous. I saw him going after a girl on a bike. They were hitting people through the hedges. People were just pouring through these hedges, which had a fence in the middle, trying to get away from the cops.
Yeah, is that coming up where the girl's on the bike and they just savage her?
Yeah, I didn't shoot that. This is stuff that I personally shot, so I didn't shoot that footage. Burmis had shot that. And then this is stuff, I'm trying to go out on, there's an exit right there I was trying to leave. Well, cops are blocking it off.
You were trying to film Darth Vader's in America.
Sure, and then they shoot tear gas.
You're an extremist.
So we walk away from that. I'm trying to get out of there at that point. I was a little afraid for my safety, but I'm also a journalist, so I'm still filming this stuff. And then at the end, we're all surrounded, and it comes up to a point, and there's I see a girl in a blue shirt walk up with her press pass. And you guys can go to that's the last clip in there. And she walks up, she shows them her press pass, she goes right through. I said, all right, well, I shouldn't have any problem. There it is, right there. They let her out. So I go up to do that. Luke grabs me from behind and starts to, tell me in the camera that he got beat up by cops. He's a little bit of profanity, but he's obviously mad because he got hit twice by these cops with batons. And then there's a point at...
And again, they're God. Here are peaceful people. They're saying disperse. You're trying to leave.
Sure.
But, oh, she's a little lady from the Pittsburgh Gazette or whatever. We're going to let her go. But, dude, you got long hair. You don't look right. So you're going to go sit out in the sleet all night with people with bags over their heads and get beat up.
No, it was horrible.
We're going to show you this ain't America, boy.
After I got arrested,
our veterans fought so you wouldn't have rights.
Yeah, well, apparently. And you know, this is a place I'm from. I lived in Pittsburgh from 1990 to 98, so it's a place I kind of call my second home. I have a lot of friends.
Part of your Al-Qaeda.
Yeah. And so, you know, I'm there all night in this room. They got steel handcuffs on me. Every time I try to like push up my glasses or move my hair, it's like this the whole time because you can't move. They're feeding you horrible food. Then they took us out in this courtyard and it's raining. It's freezing cold. The temperature dropped to like the low 60s that night, which, you know, isn't that bad here. But when, you know, it's cold and windy and it's rainy and you're sitting out with a T-shirt and shorts on, you know, it was ridiculous.
Well, I heard a lot of other stuff I won't mention on air went on with some of the other guys that got arrested, but they said it was pretty amazing.
And these people were just inhuman. They looked at us like we were trash, we were scum. I would try to talk to them like, hey.
There's nothing worse than a demonstrator who doesn't like foreign banks raping their country. I mean, you're the enemy.
Well, and I wasn't even demonstrating. I was there covering it. You know, we called in, we tried to go talk to the Army, ask them about the National Guard.
We got footage of that. We call, they say, go talk to the public information person. You show up and they call the cops and say you're terrorists trying to blow up the base.
They said, get out of here. We don't want to talk to you. Come back tomorrow. And so we leave. And then they told the sheriff's department that we ran, that we were asking a bunch of questions and poking around. And we got video of it. We go up to the front gate.
No, I know, because I called the cop who called you and threatened you at the hotel. And he was like, well, they thought they might want to blow up the base.
I mean,
so in America, like,
a guy with a camera is now a terrorist. And that's
well, I mean, that's the idea of this. I saw documents you showed me today where they raided all these IHOPs. And they were saying the people that worked there were that it was terrorism, that somebody might have not paid taxes.
Right.
And then they got all these manuals where Tea Partiers, they're saying protesting is terrorism now, and the Fed is spying on people. That's now admitted.
It's all part of the Patriot Act. They're branding any crime that could do bodily harm as terrorism. Whereas, you know, if you hit somebody, it's assault. It's not terrorism.
Well, dude, here's the good news. We're not laying down to this.
No, not at all.
And we've seen similar things happening the last week and a half in New York.
Yeah.
Where they're arresting peaceful people and pepper spraying women for no reason.
Yeah, after they corral them with nets. They got these weird nets now.
Yeah, women are in nets. Reporters, they walk over and go, eh.
Spray them in the face.
By the way, you saw that, you said.
Oh, yeah. After I was hogtied, I was zip-tied behind my back. And I was on the knees. They said, get on your knees for your own safety. And so I'm sitting there. And I'm hoping I'm not going to get hit. The camera's in my bag, and it's still rolling. And I look over, and these students, these are kids. They're laying on their fronts. They got their hands behind their back, and these guys are going around spraying them in the face. Spraying them in the face.
Well, that's freedom. George Washington fought so foreign bankers could rob you, and so people that dared to be out in public in America could be pepper sprayed while in handcuffs.
Yeah, this is not the freedom I want.
Do you want to apologize?
No, I want them to apologize to me, and that's why we're going after them. We decided.
Well, I hope you win the suit so that they understand that it's not their right to do this. But they'll just use taxpayer money to pay it. Instead, they should fire these cops who are out of control. Rob Dew, I'm glad you made it back.
Thanks.
You bet. And of course, my instructions to the crew were do not get arrested and do not be part of the protest. And that's clear in your footage, and you should win the lawsuit if there is any basic justice left in our society. Okay, folks, that's it for Infowars Nightly News. God willing, we'll see you back here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central.